Lewis Hamilton's spirit may be broken, but Frederick Vasseur isn't losing sleep over it. Even after the Ferrari star followed up his self-critical, useless comment with a sudden question mark over his future at Ferrari following a disastrous Hungarian Grand Prix weekend, Hamilton raised eyebrows at the Hungaroring, openly voicing frustration over his underwhelming qualifying and race day performances. The seven-time world champion was knocked out in Q2, narrowly missing the cut by just 0.016 seconds and ending up 12th on the grid. An uncharacteristic exit that left fans and pundits stunned. Meanwhile, his teammate Charles Leclerc seized the spotlight, muscling his way into Q3 and snatching Ferrari's first pole position of the 2025 season, much to the delight of the Tifosi. Speaking to Sky F1, Sir Lewis said, "It's just me every time. I'm useless, absolutely useless. Team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole. They probably need to change driver." Hamilton's Sunday didn't fare any better. Starting on the hard tyres, he lost ground immediately, dropping 2 spots on the opening lap, and spent most of the race locked in a DRS train with no way out. After the checkered flag, Hamilton told reporters he felt no better than he did after Saturday's qualifying woes. His blunt assessment that Ferrari may need to find a new driver still stood. That said, he admitted he's very much so looking forward to the summer break. When asked if fans can count on seeing him in the red suit again at the Dutch Grand Prix, his response was, "I look forward to coming back. Hopefully I will be back, yeah." While Lewis Hamilton was visibly disheartened after his rough outing in Hungary, Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur isn't hitting the panic button just yet. In fact, he's not the least bit concerned about Hamilton's motivation. The stats do tell a story, though. Hamilton has been chasing Leclerc's shadow this season, with the Monegasque star racking up 5 podium finishes, while Lewis is still waiting for his first taste of champagne in red. Hungary only widened the gap. With Hamilton finishing a disappointing P12 and Leclerc securing a solid 4th, the Brit now trails his teammate by 42 points in the drivers' standings. Still, Vasseur remains unfazed. Speaking to the media, he said, "I don't need to motivate him, honestly. He's frustrated, but not demotivated. It's a completely different story. I can perfectly understand the situation. Sometimes you are making comments about what the driver's saying about the car. Put the microphone on some other sportsman in football, and so I'm not sure that it would be much better. You know that they are in the performance, and sometimes they are making comments even when they jump out of the car. I can understand the frustration. We are all frustrated. And sometimes, if you ask me things, I want to say things but would go to the stewards. Sometimes just after the race, or just after the quali, you are very disappointed, and the first reaction, is off. But we all know that we are pushing in the same direction." When pressed about Hamilton's dramatic suggestion that Ferrari might want to consider replacing him, Vasseur brushed it off with understanding. At 40, Hamilton's frustration is clear, but Vasseur isn't entertaining the idea of swapping drivers anytime soon. Yes, he's demanding, but that's why he's a 7-time world champion. He's demanding with the team, with the car, with the engineers, with the mechanics, with myself also. But first of all, he's very demanding with himself. I think it's always a good motivation for him, and the main reason of performance. And for sure, when you are a 7-time world champion and your teammate is on pole position and you are out in Q2, it's tough. It's a tough situation. The outcome of this is that Charles at the end was able to do pole position. I can understand the frustration from Lewis. This is normal and will come back. The race today was difficult because that we took some bet to start with hard, and so he was stuck in the DRS train. Hamilton has made it clear that his determination to go the extra mile at Ferrari stems from a desire to avoid the fate of fellow greats Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel, champions who arrived in Maranello with high hopes but left without adding another title to their names. He said, "The reason for it is that I see a huge amount of potential within this team. The passion, nothing comes close to that. It is a huge organization, and there's a lot of moving parts, and not all of them are firing on all the cylinders that need to be. That's ultimately why the team's not had the success that I think it deserves. So I feel that it's my job to challenge absolutely every area, to challenge everybody in the team, particularly the guys that are at the top making the decisions. If you look at the team over the last 20 years, they've had amazing drivers. You've had Kimi Räikkönen, 2007 world champion, you've had Fernando, you've had Sebastian, all world champions. However, they didn't win a world championship with Ferrari, and I refuse for that to be the case with me, so I'm going the extra mile. I've obviously been very fortunate to have had experiences in two other great teams. And whilst things are for sure are going to be different, because there's a different culture and everything, I think sometimes if you take the same path all the time, you get the same results. So I'm just challenging certain things. They've been incredibly responsive. We've been improving in so many areas through marketing and everything we're continuously delivering for sponsors, the way the engineers continue to work. There's lots of work and improvements to be made, but very responsive, and I guess ultimately just trying to really create allies within the organization and get them G'd up, get them pushing. I'm here to win, and I don't have as much time as this one here, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, so it's crunch time. I truly believe in the potential of this team. I really believe that they can win multiple world championships moving forward. They already have an amazing legacy, but during my time, that's my sole goal. But perhaps Lewis Hamilton's problem at Ferrari is simpler than it seems. According to Sky F1 pundit and Mercedes simulator driver Anthony Davidson, there's an elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about: Hamilton's age. Now 40, the seven-time world champion may be facing the toughest challenge of his legendary career. And Davidson believes the cracks began to show as far back as 2022, when Formula One ushered in its new ground effect era. Since his sensational switch from Mercedes over the winter, Hamilton's Ferrari chapter has gotten off to a rocky start. Despite arriving in Maranello with the most impressive resume in F1 history, 105 wins and a joint record 7 titles, he struggled to find his footing. Speaking during Sky F1's coverage of the Hungarian Grand Prix, the former F1 driver and endurance racing ace didn't hold back. In his view, Hamilton hasn't looked quite the same since the sport's ground effect revolution. And with age creeping in, the physical and mental demands may be catching up. When asked if Hamilton may have underestimated the uphill climb from Mercedes to Ferrari, Davidson responded, "I don't think he would be surprised by that. I'm not surprised to hear that he found it difficult and very different. We all know what Ferrari is like, at least from the outside. We have a few friends, ex-colleagues that are on the inside, and they confirm the beliefs from in the paddock that it's a pressure cooker. There's a high expectation on the Italian national team to perform, and the request of the standards are incredibly high. And now you've got a 7-time world champion arriving on the scene as well, so naturally the expectations are on Lewis's shoulders, and all the fans, the tifosi, expecting results. So, he knew what he was walking into, but it's never easy. As a driver, you know the challenges of changing teams. Even changing car to car, like we'll see next year with the rules changing and like we saw in 2022. For me, Lewis has never been the same driver since we saw the 2022 regulations come along, and he's had to work harder than ever before to rework his style that he's done many times before in Formula One. The cars have changed a long way since the normally aspirated V8 and the groove tyres that he once drove, for example, and he's had to reinvent himself along the way. This is just another hurdle that he's having to overcome. And I don't mind saying it because it's the elephant in the room. And I've been there myself as a driver. Age is a factor as well. I feel like this time of reflection for him, as an athlete ages, it does affect performance. Whatever anyone says, even himself, others that are very involved with Lewis fans, they won't understand where I'm coming from. But I've lived and breathed it as an athlete. I'm now retired at 46. You start asking yourself questions. It's only natural. What do you think? Will Lewis Hamilton ever get back to championship form despite his age? Or will Father Time stand unbeaten yet again? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And if you haven't, please don't forget to like and subscribe to stay ahead in the world of Formula One. Thanks for watching.